Just got a package from Amazon. Thule is the name of the company these came from. Edge-to-edge butt welding clamps. So basically, what do we got in there? We got 16 of them. Must be one of these that's not super tight. There we go. And the way they work, just like that. So that's the thickness you want to go between the two sheets of steel. And you clamp a bunch of these in. So what happens is when you're butt welding, squashes your two panels together in between. So when you're butt welding, what happens sometimes is as the weld cools, the metal shrinks and it closes your cut. And what you got to do then is recut and re-weld. The thing is, it can throw everything out. So if you have a quarter panel set, you definitely don't want that shrinking. You want the hole to stay. So you put these in between, and you just keep removing them, and then the little blocks fall out through the back. So not a big deal. Now you can buy, this is good to know, you can buy square stock like this in 1 foot chunks and whatever at different metal places, which is good because you'll probably lose some of these in behind the quarter or someplace, who knows. Onyx by Astro. It should be Astro Pneumatic at any rate. Can we open this without cutting it all apart? I think we can. So we've got a 90-degree die. Oh, wow. That's actually pretty nice. It's nice and light. The packaging felt so heavy with the two of them in there together. But that's pretty nice. The handle's some kind of rubberized plastic. So it's smooth. It's not sticky, which is good. 204. Wow, if you got arthritis, these will be nice because the handle, especially this one, is kind of fat. And they give you two of those, one of these and one of these. So that's great. Silica pack, we'll throw that out. So this also came a while back. Here's a 90-degree from Ingersoll Rand. And this was like a couple of bucks more than what that would normally be. And I'm not fussing about the price. Ingersoll Rand makes some good products. We've had this for about a year. What I'm trying to see is if we got a little bit of wobble in the bearings. You can hear it, but it doesn't really move. So we're still pretty good. It'll probably last a while. Now this one was made by some no-name Chinese company, sold through a hardware store retailer, and I believe it was a BMR tool. If it was even that. They used to have these cheap tools that came in red packs, but anyway, came with a bunch of other stuff, and it's held up good. But as you can see here, let's see if we hold it up this way. This one hand filming sucks. As you can see, the bearings are a little sloppy, but they've been that way in this thing from the day I got it. It's definitely gotten a little bit worse. Works just fine. But if you're doing this stuff every day, you can't afford for it to quit. So that's going to replace that. And when I say replace, we probably won't replace it. What we'll do is we'll put something different on the end so we can run multiple things. For instance, sometimes it's nice to have a die grinder that's a 90-degree with a cutting wheel on it. So we might put one of them on there, run our roll locks on this one, vice versa. We got a little tool for deburring, making holes. If we have a few of these kicking around, it's just more tools we can grab without reloading with different things. So we picked up these, and I'm sure they're going to be great. And the reason why I say that, anything I've gotten from Astro has been pretty good. Case in point, this is an Astro, and the reason why I have a board file from Astro is because I believe it's an 11-inch, where most of those, like this Ingersoll Rand one right here, are much longer, right? So sometimes it's nice to have this one. It is a touch lighter, but I mean, it's a pretty heavy cast body. So, and the funny thing that I learned with this is I like to use them in conjunction with each other. So I tend to use the bigger one with a rougher paper. There's probably like 40 on there now. So you can cut, get it straight quick over a big area, and then come in with this one. And this one is the sticky one instead of the clips like this. So we can use our 120 or whatever on that and smooth it out. But you can get into a lot of areas with this where this is just too big. But like I say, I tend to grab both at the same time. So we're about to use those now. Just so happens we had a hole punched up there on the box from something hit it, put a dent and actually put a puncture in it. And here what we did is we've got a full wheel arch panel, and then we had to make 2 panels to go all the way around. So everything around the whole entire wheel well has been replaced. We got another puncture of some sorts down there to fix yet. But basically, we loaded our filler on there, at least as much as we can for our first pass. So we're going to run this guy over that with a 40, and then this one with the 120. Wherever we can. Like down there, it's not as wide, so there's no point holding a great big tool there. But the nice thing with a small tool like that, I did the same thing on this side. So hopefully we got enough filler to blend it in, and if not, we'll find out pretty quick. There'll be highs and lows. But down here, we didn't just do a new edge. We actually have a whole piece down in here that bends down into this body line here. We're actually going to have to go up and down and find that body line and then file this way and just keep gently going at it till we find our body line. Once we've established that, we'll come to this side where we filed and we'll come up and down this way. So we don't want to touch the cab, and we're not taking the box off the truck. So that little 11-inch, we'll clean that up really, really quick. And we'll run it up here and jump to the big one, go across the bigger areas, go back to the little one. You get the idea. Just whatever feels good at the time. You just got to kind of weigh it and learn as you go. But yeah, we needed metal on this side as well. We made a new piece. You can see new metal. You can see the marks in it still from the shrinker. We used a shrinker stretcher kit from what are they called? Princess Auto, which is basically Harbor Freight if you're south of the border down in the States. But yeah, so they're cheap ones, and honestly, they work fine. Totally gives us our curve. And of course, it looks like there's a whole pile of filler on here. Well, because there is. All these panels were glued on, so they're lapped. It is what it is. The glue requires 1 inch or more of overlap to be glued on. So we glued on the panels. Now, how do I feel about that? I've done videos before. Usually I like to weld them in. I'm going to be honest. I don't like a butt weld on these because I can't get behind. And sometimes these trucks, we're in Canada, they get really rusty in behind. So if you go up to where the metal's good, what I like to do is run a flange with my flange tool and then set our panel on top of that. And that way we can weld in the little groove. And you're still going to put this much filler on this way, but you don't have to build it up as much. So I feel that that's a little better. The idea is you save money because you save time with the glue. Well, that's true when you can clamp a panel on. But what I found, I've done a couple this way now because I thought, we'll try this way out. I'm an old school guy doing old school work, so we like to weld everything, right? The price of the glue isn't cheap, and you still got to clamp it on, which is fine when you can get clamps. But up in here, there was no way to get clamps. So we had to screw the panel on, and we pulled the screws out, made all our holes nice and clean. We riveted it on, so the rivets would clamp the two panels together so that the glue could do its thing. And then we ground all the heads off the rivets. Now, the farther apart you put them, the more of this stuff you have going on. So you want to get them close enough that by the time you've riveted it all on, in that time I could have just as easily tack welded this on. And even if you did it every inch, that'd probably be fine. Now, I like to weld mine solid. Do you have to? Well, maybe you do. Now, what I'm going to try next, this particular glue is a weld-through two-part epoxy. So you can put your panel on, clamp it in place, and you can literally weld whatever areas you want and weld right through the glue, as long as the glue is still wet. So you probably got like 3-4 hours. And on hour 4, it starts to set up, gets harder. You get the idea. So anyway, it is what it is. The cab of this truck is really good. The frame, surprising for one of these trucks, because these things are crispy critters if they're used in the winter and they get lots of salt off the road. But this one, the cab is really good. It's going to need rocker panels, but the rest of the cab is good. The floor is good, all that stuff. But the box really got thin around the wheel wells. It is what it is. Still has pillars in it. Often those are pretty chewed up. Like in the last videos, I did a 2011 GMC. This one's a 2012 Chevy Silverado, but yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, we'll do an update video in a couple of weeks once I've used these. But if I'm being honest, they're going to be just fine. And I don't know what Onyx is, but it must be a new thing from Astro Pneumatic. I mean, I've got papers and a few other things from Astro Pneumatic, and they seem to be pretty good. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to read it all, in case there's anything you need. 1-year warranty, that's pretty standard on everything. The nice thing with a warranty like that is through Amazon, I imagine you can just send it to them. I'm going to be honest, I don't warranty too many things. Usually I just run things till they die, right? We run things in a setting here where they get used and abused pretty quick, so I'm sure they'll outlast my year. But anyway, it is what it is. Thanks for watching.